Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It is Coffee Ann on ONAM and FM, Friday morning, July 14th, and thank you for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan. Melissa Murray is here
welcome,
at the...
Joe.
I'm not talking to you just yet.
Okay.
Melissa Murray is here.
Thank me for joining you.
Good
Melissa.
morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, Dave Richards is here. Hi, Dave.
I am? Oh, hi there.
And
You're entirely welcome, Joe.
Okay. This portion of the Coffee Ann program is sponsored by the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Dave, what's
that
going
so?
on with the Chamber?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I'm only kidding.
Must be July.
Yeah, well, this is it, July, and in portions of August. There's not so much going on because they take a little time off, doesn't everybody? But we got our legislative wrap-up with the advocacy. Did I tell you about this last week, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Because this
Yes.
was really, really well done. The Advocacy in Action newsletter to all the chamber members goes through every bill, the budget, everything else like that, talks about what was originally proposed, what actually got passed, or if it didn't get passed, and things like that. And that's just some of what you get there. If you want to join the chamber, now would be a good time. They're kind of slow. They have a lot of time to pay attention to you. A lot of time to answer the phone. 334-1000 is the number. 334-1000, the number for the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce, sponsoring Coffee Ants for a segment on Friday.
All right. Should we give Melissa a hard time, Dave?
No.
No?
But you can ask her some tough questions because Melissa's the kind of lady who she loves to sink her teeth into a good subject, doesn't she?
Well, the
Depends.
subject was, did I read this correctly, that the state legislators all got an 8% pay raise?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they did that well.
Oh, okay.
Let's talk about that.
Okay, let's.
Okay.
You got an
So
8% pay raise.
we, unlike many folks, get a cost of living adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's the assumption that you could actually live on our salary, which you couldn't.
Because
But-
you're part-time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's about $17,000 a year. But yes, because of inflation, inflation was 8%, and so we got an 8% cost of living increase. Unlike many state retirees and many other folks and direct care workers and all those folks that got absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
So you can see where I stand on this.
Not happy about it.
I mean, I feel like we can't say no to all those folks and then just get one for ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Life's not fair.
I know.
Melissa.
No, that was. I understand life's not. I very much understand life's not fair, but
Okay. I didn't,
really, it's unjust.
I didn't
Yeah.
know. I didn't know this was a cost of living thing
It
that
is.
was automatically put in. I thought it
It's
was one of those
automatic.
midnight. Hey, let's give ourselves this.
No, no.
Maybe no one will notice.
No, it's not that at all. This happens every year.
Yeah.
It adjusts to inflation.
Okay.
And it just happens to be a big one because inflation was really bad.
Bad.
It's
Yeah.
a trade-off because you don't have a full-time legislature. Yet, being a legislator is much more than a full-time job in session, but year-round you've got the responsibility and the life, restrictions and things like that
Oh,
a
yeah.
public official has.
That's 24/7. Right.
Right, which is 24/7. And so a lot of legislators down through the years have suggested, well, if it's a full-time job already, it should pay full-time wages, benefits, and everything else. We don't have to worry about making a living elsewhere and worrying about all those conflicts of interest. And it would be simpler if we just full-time. Of course, I'm against it because idle hands are the devil's tool. And if you aren't always crimped for time, you'll find, as it is now, what was it? The number was right here in front of me on how many bills were actually put in this year.
Thousands.
Yeah, thousands. Oh, here we go. The House introduced 1,535 bills. And of course, the Senate introduced 1,035 bills, 1,135 bills, 400 bills less, and a total of 2,670 bills between the two houses. And then it's just crazy. How do you keep track of all of this stuff? A total of 397 new public laws were adopted this year. And if local laws and resolutions are added in the municipalities, that means you've got to try to keep track of 913 new bills passed in 2023.
And those are just the ones that pass. Those aren't all the ones that come through your committee.
Well, that's right.
Yeah,
because we were
it's
saying
a lot.
there's 2,670 that came up,
Yeah.
Well,
and they
in-
didn't all pass.
Well, in comparison, Dave, Massachusetts has the full-time legislature. How many bills did they look at?
Well, a lot
I don't
less.
know. I don't have the numbers in
I
front
don't
of
know.
me.
I
Yeah.
really don't know, and I don't know the number either.
So why is it a lot less when they're the full-time legislature?
Well, I just noticed that they're having the same problem as any other legislature. They can't pass a budget.
They are. They haven't
and,
passed a budget.
And they just keep kicking the can down the road with a supplemental
Yeah.
budget that goes in, and
Well-
they have no trouble passing supplemental budgets. They have a big problem passing a budget, and they're full time. No other jobs, got nothing else to do.
But they do have other jobs.
No, they don't.
My state rep, he's the state rep. He also owns an insurance company.
Well, owns an insurance company doesn't mean that he's working at the insurance company.
Right.
But he's there.
I mean, Bert Stallwood was
Yeah.
Lincoln Town Administrator. By the way, Bert, sorry to hear about your wife passing. It was on the radio yesterday. But he immediately came to mind because
Yeah.
he had the Stallwood Insurance Agency. But he was full-time Lincoln Town Administrator.
I know, and my guy's a full-time rep as well. But he does pop up into the office. I mean, other people are running the office, mostly his kids.
Right,
But he's there occasionally,
right.
Right.
Just-
And those are the kind of people that can run too, or attorneys who have
at time.
practices, who have other folks who can, work for them. That's kind of the problem with a part-time legislature, right?
Yeah.
Because
You have
then
to work.
you have to work, but then you have to be wealthy or well-to-do or well-positioned or or just lucky to be able to even contemplate running, right? So you don't get folks that are really representative of the population lots of times, although we are diverse, more diverse than we ever have been.
Okay.
So
We have a note that's been called in, 766-1240, on a
Is it about
completely
sports,
different
Joe?
topic. No, it's about the weather. Los Angeles, 113 degrees. Phoenix, Arizona, 119 degrees. Santa
Yeah.
Fe, New Mexico, 115 degrees. LA weather reports there have been 6 days in a row of over 100 degrees and 4 nights in a row where the temperature stayed in the 90s. Not good at all. Maybe people will start paying attention to what experts have predicted for years. It's global warming, and now it's evident. Do you agree with that statement, Melissa?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
And I will tell you, when I lived in Phoenix,
I
let's
know
see.
you lived in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, I lived in Phoenix for 4 years. I got my degree there.
Oh, okay.
And the first,
How's that dry heat?
yeah, dry heat, right? It's a dry heat. No, it's like backdraft when you open your front door.
Yeah.
So my first year there, and I'm a New England, I'm a New England girl through and through. And so the first summer there, every day I woke up was the hottest day of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing up and climbing up and climbing up. And there was, I think the hottest day there that I ever encountered was 117. But the last year that I was there, which was 2009, 8. We're going back now. That summer, there were 100 consecutive days where it was 100 or hotter. Not just all the days, just in a row.
It's normal there.
So, it is, but 119 is really that's really hot. So I think they're up to maybe 14 days consecutively that has been over 110, right? Or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. It's those degrees, they may not sound like a lot, but when you're out there, I mean, you can't be outside.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember getting in my car and I had a little necklace on with a little pendant, and
Started to burn?
it started to burn. I had to rip it off my neck. When I worked there for R&D at a lab, and we had a heat gun, And just for fun, we went outside at 5 o'clock and opened the car door and shot the heat gun in. It was like 135 because I always wondered, like, I'm like, why it's so hot when I get in my car after work? Why do I get chills? It's because your body is going into shock. So, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
heat is excessive heat for humans is not good. Excessive cold is not good. This is few degrees each year.
All right. Dave, do you
It
see
feels
this?
like more,
Yeah. Dave, do you see this global warming, or is that just the way it is in the Southwest?
Well, it's just the way that it is in the Southwest, and it's global warming.
All right. So it's a combination.
Global warming's been going on since the Ice Age, boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
And we're very, very pleased about it. Otherwise, we'd be under a 50-foot slab of ice right here in Woonsocket. But I can tell you also, but global warming, this is what happens. An awful lot of militant liberals will look at you and say, you don't believe in global warming. So I'm a scientist sort of guy. So yeah, I've always believed in global warming, and thank God for it. However, you're trying to demonize it. So, I mean, who's the wrong one here? I acknowledge it. I choose not to live in those places. I'm very happy in Woonsocket, where we seem to get the better end of the weather stick. We get our stuff, but we really, when you compare it to other parts of the country, even other parts of our state, we do really well here in Woonsocket for a moderate tone to the weather. And so I'm very, very pleased about that, and I thank God for it. And it's certain that global warming is a real thing, and we should be deciding what to do about it. But in the public debate, unfortunately, it's like a war. It's like junior high school. You demonize anybody who doesn't think like them, and that's wrong. Thank you very much. Bye.
All right.
Well, the reason I moved to Phoenix was for love. I wouldn't have normally have chosen to live there. And, I remember my dad saying to me, why the heck would you, use another word, why the heck would you live there? I look on the news and it's always like red and it's like an oven out there. Like, why would you do that? So, sometimes we do things for love, but I did get my degree there, and then I promptly left. So it was a good, thing overall. I made some great friends there. The art scene there is great, by the way. But, it's just the weather's not for me. But I think, again, with this incremental increase, and are what we doing as humans contributing to that? I believe that absolutely, and I believe.
Knock that off.
Yeah, we should knock that off.
We shouldn't destroy humanity to do it.
Yeah, but
Don't
I
demonize
believe
humans.
that there are some,
But
there's
that's
some
the only way
sacrifices
some people can fight a battle.
right.
Is
But
by
we need to
demonizing
change.
the other
We
side.
need to change the way that we're doing things, and I know that it's hard, but it's if we want to leave this planet for our
What she was saying,
For
Joe,
our
reminds
youth.
me of that old Andrews Sisters song from the 40s.
It does.
We're talking about they were in the tropics, right? Make tropic love, next day sit in hot sun and cool off.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where you got that
I don't
from.
know.
It's rum and Coca-Cola. You heard the
Okay.
song Rum
No,
and
no.
Coca-Cola?
Well, I know those
I don't
lyrics.
know.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
well,
the other lyrics.
that's one of the verses.
Okay.
All right. I've
Not heard it.
I have a friend that she just moved from Florida to Arizona. And she's in Tucson.
Yeah.
So she went through the
Which is
Florida.
twice as better than one son.
Yeah, she went through the Florida summers. Now she's going through her first Arizona summer, and this in Arizona is much tougher.
Oh yeah.
She said she actually had to go down to the local Walmart and bought herself. Now she lives in an apartment complex, but she has a balcony off her or a patio, and went to Walmart and bought one of those inflatable kiddie pools.
Yes.
Fill it with water just for her to get in it.
Yes.
Because it is
Yes.
just so hot.
Samesies.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
That-
Yep.
the sales of
it's-
those things must be great out there.
Yeah, and you can't go to the beach. It's
I don't think. Well, Tucson, Phoenix, they're not near the beach.
no.
Is there a beach?
No.
In Arizona?
Well, there's
they
lake.
call them beaches when they're near lakes.
Oh, I mean ocean. There's
Yeah,
ocean.
no, I'm not a lake person. I don't trust. If I can't
What's
see
in
the
a lake?
bottom, I'm not. No. Yeah.
All right, so that's what's going on there out in the Southwest. So it's time for a break, and it's time for a second message from the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. So what's Dave looking at on his laptop for the Chamber?
Well, I was looking to see if I could put it up so everybody could see it on the TV, but it's a fairly slow process to get something from an email onto the TV, and I didn't see it fast enough. But the nice thing is that they sent another email right here during the first portion of the program. And in there, they have a profile of their summer intern at the Northern Rhode Island Chamber of Commerce. Mason is their newest intern from Skills for Rhode Island's Future. Prepare Rhode Island aims to close the gap between the students, what the students learn in school, and what they need for in-demand jobs, and it ensures local employers have a workforce they require to thrive in today's economy. Mason's a junior at North Smithfield High School, yay! And his passion for learning and commitment to personal growth have impressed the staff at the Chamber from the start. During his time with them, Mason will gain hands-on experience, develop professional skills, and connect with the local business leaders. That's all at the Chamber. So, folks, as I usually say in my second message, call 334-1000 at 9 o'clock this morning and ask for Mason.
All right, thanks, Dave. More Coffee Ants coming up. Stay tuned.
Providing experienced, compassionate care when you need it. That describes North Smithfield and Lincoln Urgent Care Centers. Their mission is to make you feel safe and reassured about the nature and severity of minor illnesses like lacerations, sprains, ear and sinus infections, stomach and back discomfort, and more. Both facilities have X-ray and lab facilities on premises. North Smithfield Urgent Care, 594 Great Road, North Smithfield, 768-3400. Open Monday through Friday 9 to 8 and Saturday 9 to 5. And Lincoln Urgent Care, across from Lincoln Mall, 333-9595. Open weekdays 9 to 9, Saturday and Sunday 9 to 5.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
Hi, this is Romeo Berthium inviting you to join me every Saturday morning from 6 to 9 for The Saturday Show. This all-request program includes music, news, sports, weather, and all sorts of community announcements. And what a great way to start your weekend. Join me this Saturday morning.
ON Radio, ON Worldwide.
ON, AM, and FM.
And that's right. And it's Coffee and here on ONA, AM, and FM. Joe Callahan.
Here.
With Dave Richards and Melissa Murray. Meg Ryan. Hey, Meg Ryan's on the phone.
Oh
Meg,
my goodness.
Today.
Oh, hi, Meg Ryan. How are you? This is actually
Meg Rigo.
Meg Rigo.
Yes.
To talk about Levitt
You
Amp.
never know the famous people that will hop in on Owen Radio.
That's right.
We're
But
full of
Meg's,
surprises.
but Meg's here to talk about the Levitt Amp at Woonsocket Music Series. Meg's from NeighborWorks Blackstone River Valley, by the way.
Of course.
And you got two women country acts tonight.
We do. Two ladies
Exciting.
of country are coming to Woonsocket this evening. So our opening act, Charlie Marie, is a local Rhode Islander. She has been living in Nashville for some time and has been making the country rounds there. And then our headliner, Angie Kay, is truly phenomenal. Both the musicians are phenomenal. Angie Kay is really impressive. She is a CMT Next Woman of Country. She was just acknowledged that.
That's pretty
in their
impressive.
Yes. They don't select many of those for the year. She performed on NBC's The Voice. She was the singer of a recording that was performed every night at the fireworks at Epcot at Disney.
Wow.
And she's been writing her own country music for some time now.
Now, Meg, not only that, but she's in tremendous demand across the country. I don't know if you realize this, but Angie Kay, who'll be with us tonight here in Woonsocket, her last show was in Nebraska. She's coming all the way to Woonsocket from Nebraska, and her next show's in Ohio. So it's kind of gives you the idea that she's going out of her way to come and visit us.
She is. She is certainly making the rounds. She is quite popular. When we announced our lineup, she was the first person I was getting inquiries for. How do I get tickets? How do I come see Angie K?
Oh, yeah.
And the folks reaching out were quite pleased to know that they could come to a free show in Woonsocket. All they have to do is show up.
No, Meg, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but I'll ask anyway. Has Angie K or Charlie, have they been on the Grand Ole Opry?
They have not been. Neither of them have been on the Grand Ole Opry yet.
Okay.
And
Well,
I say yet because I'm
it's
sure
early.
that they will be someday.
Yeah.
They're
Okay.
young.
All right. And food trucks tonight. Who's going to be there?
Sure. We have Antojitos de mi Tierra Lanita, the taco truck. Methods of a Mad Woman, and I am going to tell you that I wish I had looked up what they serve, but anyone that's got a
I can
food
tell
truck
you.
entitled, thank you.
Yeah, the Mad Woman. Oh, she's a friend of the family. Actually, she's one of the young grandchildren in the Egan family, and everybody knows the Egan family around here. Very industrious young lady. Lots of good support, and I've had her food at the Woonsocket car shows when she was there. Really tasty stuff. Lots of eclectic stuff. A little bit of a twist on the old favorites. You'll see stuff there you really want to eat, guaranteed.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah. Now, so this Angie K she's hot stuff, and people are going to be knowing about her for quite some time. She's really a very interesting person. Now, you've heard the promotional announcements we've been running, and gosh darn it, doesn't she sound like a younger Reba McEntire?
Yeah.
Or and she is just very professional. You see any of her videos and stuff like that. Started off in Guatemala. She was born in Guatemala, believe it or not. This country girl comes from Guatemala, which means, of course, that she has a Latin heritage that she honors during many of her shows. And you may actually hear some different stuff other than the twangy country stuff that she is so well known for, and people are really liking her. But on top of that, the other interesting thing I saw about Angie K, Meg, is her given surname is Kellhauer. Not exactly Guatemalan. So anyway,
shortened it a little.
Yeah, but it confuses everybody, so that's why she's Angie K. But very, very professional. And I got to tell you, Charlie Marie, we've known her since she was 9 years old out there singing on the any little old stage she could get herself onto with her cowboy hat and her boots and stuff like that. Nashville's been very good to Charlie Marie because she is a grown-up, top-notch professional singer now. Really great.
It's going to be a wonderful. It's going to be a wonderful performance. It's going to be incredible. I'm really excited for the talent.
All right. So now can we talk about the elephant in the room?
I mean,
all
isn't it really
week
the elephant
long.
outside the room?
Yeah, you're actually more accurate than that. You're accurate with that statement because all week long, all we've been hearing about is how it's going to rain on Friday, rain on Friday, rain on Friday. Actually, if you look up the National Weather Service forecast right now, it looks like we're doomed. But if you look at the hour-by-hour forecast, the rain is coming between 1 and 4. Right now, that's the way it looks. So we're okay for tonight. Now
It does look good.
Now these things can change hour by hour, like I said, and that was the latest update at 5 o'clock. We get updates from the Weather Service on the 5s and on the 11s, 24 hours a day, so every 6 hours. That was the 5 a.m. And, of course, Meg's going to take a look at the 11 a.m. before she makes the final determination whether we go to Plan A or Plan B. Plan A, of course, is outside in the park where we want to be. But if she thinks there's going to be any safety concerns for anybody concerned, then we do have the inside venue at Mill Race that we can go to as Plan B, which is ready to snap into action if we need it. Right, Meg?
It is ready and it's raring to go.
And you can fit 100 people in Mill Race. So don't come late, folks.
A little more than that. We have 100 seats that we'll have set up, and then we'll have some standing room and still fit within the fire marshal's approval of what we can do there. And we've done it once before. It actually ended up being sunny at nighttime that day, and so people were also able to sit out on the patio and hear the music that we piped out there.
Yeah.
Our goal is definitely to be in the park. We know that's where it's the best experience. We can welcome the most number of guests, and we really get the whole experience of being at the concert, from the food trucks to the vendors to Jerry's Blushing Boutique and her setup and the kids' activities. But these events, as you said, Dave, Angie's coming all the way from Nebraska and then heading back to Ohio. So we don't really have the option to postpone. And so we're rain or shine, and so we figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
All right, Levin Amp Woonsocket Music Series continues tonight at River Island Art Park,
Joe,
6 to 9 p.m.
Did Melissa have a question?
Did Melissa have a question?
I did not have a question.
Oh,
She did
I
not.
thought you were gearing up for a question. Okay.
All right, so 6 to 9, and it's all free tonight at River Island Art Park. And Meg will let us know around noonish of what any determination will be about inside or outside. But let's keep the fingers crossed so that everything goes swimmingly and everything is outside at River Island Art Park. Right, Meg?
Thank you for your crossed fingers. We will accept them. So anyone out there listening, feel free to help us out.
All right. Well, thanks, Meg, for joining us.
Oh, by the way, one more thing. Do you realize that Angie K's birthday is next Wednesday?
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Bring a cake.
And I forgot. I get these sometimes. The island nations messed up in my head. She's from El Salvador, not Guatemala. Sorry.
Okay. You're forgiven.
But it's in the same neighborhood of islands from the standpoint of Rhode Island. Sorry about that. I just get those messed up. So anyway, yeah, she turns 31 next Wednesday.
Well, we'll have to wish her a special happy pre-birthday when we all see her in,
Cool.
not very many hours. It'll be great.
All righty.
Thanks for joining us, Meg, and we'll talk again next Friday.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay, you too.
Bye.
Bye. Meg Ryan. Meg Rigo. Joining us.
Watch yourself.
Talking about Levitt Woonsocket Music Series. All right, before we take another break, want to mention saw a lot of announcements on social media yesterday that the former sports writer, columnist for the Providence Journal, Bill Reynolds, passed away at the age of 78, and one of those guys, especially if you're in the sports circle, where if you ever ran into him, everybody liked him.
Yeah.
No one did not like Bill Reynolds, and he was quite the mentor for the young sports writers coming up at the Projo, and he was never jealous of them or anything like that, or envious of the young guys that come and take my job. He was not like that, and they all said his Saturday column that always ran in the Journal was must reading, because it talked not only about sports, it talked about life and things like that were going on. Bill had a very interesting take on what things were going on in life, and so and I saw him a few times because he popped up into the McCoy Stadium press box, and it was always nice to have him up there. So sad news that Providence Journal columnist Bill Reynolds passed away. He was at the Projo for almost 40 years.
Wow.
That's a long career at one paper. And, and he was 78 years old, so rest in peace to
condolences to his colleagues and family and friends.
All right, and let's see, other things going on. I don't know what this guy in North Smithfield is thinking.
You call that thinking?
Well, someone had to think this idea up. He volunteered to be a gunshot victim and film it. All right? And so the Rhode Island Attorney General's office says this man, Elliot Knorr, now faces counts including possession of 15 ghost guns and firing in a compact area. He allegedly volunteered to be hit with, quote, rubber buckshot ammunition while it was being video recorded in his backyard, which is right next door to North Smithfield's Pacheco Park.
Oh,
and they don't want
nice.
firing in that general
Right,
area.
of course not.
So he's scheduled to make an initial court appearance September 18th.
So did he think because he had ghost guns and rubber bullets that he wasn't going to get in trouble?
Yes. Well, maybe they weren't using the ghost guns for the shooting. Maybe they just decided that I'll be hit with this rubber buckshot. We'll see what kind of damage it does and what it does and doesn't do to you. And we'll post that online and everything will be fine. And I've done a good thing. And then when they say, well, they're firing in the compact area, now we get to search everything. And what are you doing with all these ghost guns? Here's another 15 charges, really.
Yep.
Wow.
Not the brightest.
Okay.
Not the best idea.
these
Not the
guns
best
that you-
idea.
All these guns you didn't bother registering.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if he went to the North Smithfield Police with just the idea, I want to do this to show what it's like. Is it okay if I do it? I think the police would have said, that's not a smart idea.
Right.
No, we don't want you doing that.
Right.
but I don't think he did that part.
Yeah, in
He
this
just went out
case,
and
not
did it.
better to ask forgiveness than permission in this
There's-
particular case.
There's no forgiveness coming.
There's
this,
no
this
forgiveness.
time around. Rich Elaine has joined us at the coffee
The
table.
rooster is here.
Hello, Rich.
Good morning.
Nice
Good
to have you here
morning.
with us.
Nice to be back.
All right. Before we get to Rich, it's time to take a quick little break and give you the weather forecast, which is being brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance.
The National Weather Service has issued a hazardous weather outlook for the area because of possible thunderstorms and a flood watch in the area because some of the thunderstorms could produce some heavy rain. Mostly cloudy skies today with a high of 82. Calm wind becoming south in the afternoon. A chance of rain today is 50%, and it's up to a half an inch of rain in the current forecast. Tonight, mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of 70, winds from the south, 50-50 chance of some more rain, up to 3/4 of an inch of rain possible overnight. Saturday's weather, another 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy skies, and 85. Sunday, an 80% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some storms could produce heavy rainfall, patchy fog, and a high of 80. Monday, mostly sunny skies with a high of 88. Tuesday, partly sunny and 88. Wednesday, sunshine and 84. Next Thursday, mostly sunny skies and a high of 84 degrees.
And currently outside the Navigate Credit Union Broadcast Studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we have 76 degrees. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Information at positivecoach.org.
If it's too hot to cook, go to Chan's. Dining and takeout. Live music and scorpion bowls. Try out the popular party platters. Takeout and delivery, same number as the reservations, 765-1900. Live entertainment at Chan's. Tonight, Friday the 14th, we have Selwyn Birchwood with a CD party release. $30 advance and $35 at the door. Call ahead. And tomorrow, Saturday the 15th, Kate Russo's Piece of My Pearl tribute to Janis Joplin. $20 advance, $25 at the door. At Chan's, 267 Main Street in Woonsocket.
Are you looking for solutions to meet your business banking needs? At Milford Federal, the longest-standing community bank in the area, they offer customized solutions for commercial lending, cash management, online banking, and payment processing services. Their business banking team is committed to the growth and success of your business with local decision-making and a relationship-based approach. Let Milford Federal be your banking partner. Visit them at milfordfederal.com today. Milford Federal Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, and MLS number 465956.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox is on my morning sports reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
And it's Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Rich Elaine, Melissa Murray, and Dave Richards. And Dave, our third segment sponsor of Coffee In is the Valley Breeze newspaper. What do you got?
I have in my hands, Joe, the Cumberland Lincoln edition of the Valley Breeze newspapers, answering the immortal question that people have been asking for ages throughout the Blackstone Valley. Where are there more automobile crashes than any other place in the town of Cumberland?
And the Breeze has the answer.
Chapel Four Corners.
I can agree with that.
Ethan Shorey
about
has
a
the
mile
story.
from there.
He probably changed his name to that. Ethan Shorey has the story. Okay. Sophia Barr has a story in here about the Twin River Road intersection, seeing the most vehicle accidents in Lincoln.
Oh, I can see that too.
There you go.
Yeah.
All righty. And then moving over to North Smithfield, Blackstone, and Woonsocket, a filmmaker will premiere season 2 of the Slatersville TV show Slatersville at the Museum of Working Culture. What do you know? That's not bad. Well, they've already had the first part, and they put it out on Rhode Island PBS TV, and now it'll be obviously in the queue to be going out there again. And we're talking, of course, about Christian de Resendez. He's certainly a filmmaker, that's for sure. He's got his chops. He's earned his title. Garrett Mancieri, a city councilor, pushes aid for small businesses, and the mayor vetoes the move, and that veto carries, is not overridden at the council. So there's a story there from Bella Pelletier as well, as long as a nice little picture over here of Clayton Cody, who's 2 years old, He looked right at home in the driver's seat of his dad's police cruiser during North Smithfield's Heritage Day, which happened last week. So
That's why they have those crashes at Twin River Road. And
no,
Let the 2-year-olds drive.
This is North Smithfield. Anyway, great news, great ads from fantastic businesses that you really want to do business with. And of course, lots of other information in there at the Valley Breeze newspaper, free where you shop every Thursday.
Just to mention, because I grew up in Cumberland and about a mile from Chapel Four Corners, so that whole Diamond Hill Road, Bear Hill Road, Angel Road intersection, it's better with the lights there now, but I can see where people just don't quite figure it out. And
Oh, are there lights
crash.
there now?
There are lights
Yeah,
there.
I grew up around
There
there
used to
too,
be
yeah.
not
They have
lights there.
They have two, not rotaries, don't call them rotaries.
Oh,
they get
there's
mad,
circles.
roundabouts.
Yeah,
They have two roundabouts.
that go over 295.
Yeah, that go right. So you've got a real situation there, and quite frankly, I see evidence that the traffic problems are lower.
They are. They used to back up traffic on the 295 trying to
That's
get
right.
over, so that's
Yeah.
not there anymore.
That's-
So
no,
that's,
it isn't.
that's great. All right, Richard Lane from Post 85 has joined us, and he comes in on
Hey.
every Friday, and he tells us what's going on at the Post. What's up with the Post?
Well, there's something actually going on this morning when I leave here.
Really?
Yeah. Well, no, I am going to go up there. I got to go home after we're done here and go take my 2 granddaughters who are extremely excited to come down to the Post this morning because we had 20 large plants that were donated to us by the Home Depot in North Smithfield. We got a bunch of empty pots surrounding the Eternal Flame Memorial. So we're going to go down there and do some planting. And,
Nice.
you know, like I said, with the entities we have down there, that my granddaughters are part of the auxiliary, ladies auxiliary down there. And so if you have any military relations and ladies out there, if you want to join the auxiliary, you should come down. And there's a junior auxiliary, which my granddaughters belong to. So you can get involved with all sorts of projects there, and they'll write some nice letters for you if you're, for instance, one of my granddaughters who's going to Norfolk Agricultural School, they wrote a nice letter of recommendation for her, and I'm sure that helped. So, like I said, come on down to the Post and, join. We have, the American Legion itself. We got the Sons of the American Legion. We have the auxiliary. And if you have no military relations whatsoever, we have a civilian group down there called the Friends of Fairmount, who help us out a lot. So, there's all sorts of things for you to come on down and check us out. But what's going on besides me going down there and getting dirty with plants? We have tomorrow night. We have the All Over Band. We were supposed to have a night of Zeppelin, but they had to cancel out on us. So we have the All Over Band that's coming over, and they're going to fill in. We thank them very much for that tomorrow night. So that is from 7 to 11, open to the public, never a cover charge.
And
We
at
have-
11 o'clock, they'll be all over again.
They'll be all over. You've been very philosophical. I was listening on the way in this morning. You're in that philosophical mode this morning.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I thought it was indigestion, but that's all right.
But that's what's going on tomorrow night at the Post. And like I said, it's always underneath our covered pavilion, and we have the outside bar open. So come on down, listen to some good music. Got the meat raffle on Sundays, of
Ooh,
course.
meat
Every
raffle,
Sunday we do our meat raffle, and all the monies we make from that meat raffle go to a scholarship fund, which we're very, very proud of. So needless to say, the more people we get to come down there, and it's extremely inexpensive. It's $5 for 7 tickets.
Wow.
That's
a good deal.
And you know what the better part of the deal is that we provide food if you buy a ticket for the meat raffle.
Oh, nice.
All you got to do is provide is $5, get in the meat raffle, and boom, we got a nice little buffet set up, and you can have something to eat too, all for $5, and cheap drinks, which is always very important. But yeah, come on down for our meat raffle on Sundays. We still have the donation drive going on down there that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. The auxiliary down there is collecting new underwear and socks for girls and boys aged 2 to 17, and they donate it to Just For You. And Just For You is a giving center for foster homeless and disadvantaged children from infant to 17 years old. And one thing to remember when you donate these underwear and sock items, they stay in the Woonsocket, North Smithfield, and Burville community. So you're helping your own community out. And we are a drop-off donation down at 870 River Street. So next time you're in your local Walmart or your store that you go to purchase clothing, if you want to go take a look at some socks and underwear for infant to 17-year-olds. And as I've mentioned before, a lot of people think boys. The girls are ones that are usually left out, you know?
I don't know about. I don't know why, because I think about girls all the time.
Yeah, well, yeah. And
Raised a little daughter.
There you go. Yeah, and same thing. I
Happen
got
to be
two
married to a
granddaughters
former
myself. Yep. So yeah, but don't forget the young ladies, and you know, like I said, anything you want to drop off, new items, of course, but drop them off down at American Legion Post 85. We'll make sure they get over to the Just For You program. Now, this coming Wednesday.
Can I ask you a question about the Just For You?
Sure.
So you said that, you know, you get mostly boys. Is there like an age group? Because when I think of, you know, children, you know, I'm thinking of the younger folks, but like the teenagers need also. And if it's up to 17, that could be adult size as well.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have, you're thinking of like those teenagers that, you know, often get left behind, like at Christmas time and, you know, things like that. Like these are still kids, right?
Right.
So you can even probably go up to adult size and be pretty assured that someone is going to need them and use them, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing, when I take a look at infants too, I think about like the little babies and stuff, them T-shirt things that.
Oh, the onesies.
With the onesies,
Yeah.
snap around the diapers,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you know. So, I mean, like I said, any
Right.
clothing like that, I'm sure they could use down
Sure,
there.
sure.
So. And also, this coming Wednesday, we have another bike night coming up at the American Legion Post 85. It's Wednesday, July 19th. The registration is from 5:30 to 7. There is no entry fee for the bike nights. We got some real nice motorcycles that pull into the parking lot, and we got some food, some raffles, we got vendors there, and music. And like I said, no entry fee, and there's trophies for the top 3 bikes, and a $100 cash prize for the one that comes in number 1. So come on down, bring your bike in on Wednesday, July 19th from 5:30 to 7. We'll register you up for free. And come enjoy a good night of looking at some real nice motorcycles around the area, and have some fun with your fellow motorcyclists.
All right.
And that's pretty
All right.
much
That's it for
what's
now.
going on. Oh no, real quick, if I may, I wanted to really make mention of this. Is that on July 21st is our next band, of course, which is next week. Usually it's on a Saturday night, but this time it's going to be on Friday. A week from today, July 21st, we got Radio Badland coming in, because on July 22nd, the following Saturday night, we have New World Wrestling Extreme coming back. Yeah, and I know Joe's washed his wrestling outfit, so.
These guys look pretty tough, Rich.
But so just so you know,
You can take them. You can take them.
Joe, you can take them. I know you can. But just so you know, aware of that little change, the band next week will be on Friday night with the wrestling on Saturday night.
All right, very good.
I have a question, if I could
Yes.
start up a new topic.
You got a couple of minutes.
Oh, only a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm sure we'll get really in depth on this one. But I'm just looking at the map, because we have the radar up over here on the big screen. I was looking at the map, and I said to myself, now this all happened before I came in on the planet here. Why hasn't anybody come up with the idea of filling in the Cape Cod Canal, and you wouldn't need those 2 blessed bridges? I mean, let's face it, in this day and age, do we really need the Cape Cod Canal?
Yes.
What makes you think so, Joe? Let's
Discussion
get some
over.
let's get some heated discussion on
Well,
this
first
topic.
of all, we get there's a lot of fish life
Yeah.
that use the canal
So
to go
what?
back and forth.
Right.
Well, they can go
No,
around
so what again?
Provincetown.
No, no,
Are they
no,
lazy?
no.
They got nothing else to do.
Long way.
And the fishermen use the canal all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So what?
It's industry.
You can't say
They
so
got
what.
the
That's
whole
a,
of Cape Cod.
That's a terrible argument. You can't just say
No.
so what.
I mean, now,
He just did.
because
I know.
it's kind of like this. If you were going to the zoning board in your community for zoning relief and you made your own problem, they wouldn't give you zoning relief. And so here we are, where the federal government's being asked for billions of dollars to replace the two bridges that go onto and off of the Cape Cod Peninsula
Yeah.
in Massachusetts. Because we made our own problem. We dug a ditch. Now we gotta dig. Now we gotta have this big bridge
They
over
didn't
it.
dig a ditch. That's naturally formed.
No, the Cape Cod Canal.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. Was it? Well, see, now that
I
goes
don't
back
Now we
to
got to
my
look
time.
at. I'm sure there's
A
a,
canal?
listener out there that's looking it
Yeah.
up for you right now.
Please let
a
us know.
canal is a man-made waterway. Why do they
But
call
maybe
it a canal
maybe
if
they
it was
just-
natural?
Maybe they just call it that.
That's a good question.
Yeah, good
Because
question.
there's no up and down with levees like the Panama Canal.
Sure.
Well,
Sure.
So I
you're,
just always
you're
thought it
talking
was
about
natural.
locks instead
Yeah.
of
Locks.
levees.
Yeah, those things.
Yeah.
There's none of that.
There's no bagels either.
The Erie
No.
Canal. Remember that song?
See now,
Yeah,
listen.
sure.
We all don't know how the Cape Cod Canal was formed, so now we're all going to learn
But-
something today.
But
Go ahead,
right.
Melissa.
Every day's a school day, right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh! I finally got the bell.
Diane.
But regardless, if there's industry built around it, fishing industry,
There's
real-
tourism.
tourism.
I've taken a tour of the canal out of
Yeah, you
tourist
can't
boats.
just.
Too bad.
No,
Can
too
you
bad.
can you imagine how
Go to
many
Provincetown. There's tourism
folks
there.
would be so mad if you
Yes.
filled in
The canal?
Think of
the canal.
Think of the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people on Cape Cod who would go, "Boy, I'm glad we're
I
done
think
with that
someone's
crap."
calling in. So
Well,
hopefully they'll have an answer for us.
Well, I take the Cape Cod Tunnel, so I'm all set there.
Oh, come on.
All right. More coffee ads
Get off
coming
my left
up.
foot.
We got to take a break right here. This portion of the Coffee Aid program has been sponsored by the Valley Breeze newspaper.
Since its founding in 1996, the Valley Breeze has been the trusted source for local news in the Blackstone Valley. Our readers and advertisers understand that shining a light on all aspects of our communities and doing it with some of the best local journalism anywhere makes these cities and towns better places to live in. We believe that truth has value and should triumph over rumors and misinformation. See valleybreeze.com or any of our 5 editions for more on how you can be part of this local news success story.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
A message from the Carew Investment Group, 68 Cumberland Street, at the corner of Clinton and Cumberland Streets here in Woonsocket. The Carew Investment Group offers you personal management of investment accounts. Depending on what you're looking for, whether it be to enhance your current income, a 401k rollover, or retirement income, we'll put together a plan for you. We focus on using quality dividend-paying stocks of companies that you know, investment quality bonds, exchange-traded funds, and use the advantages offered by IRAs. You can contact Paul or Ed at the Carew Investment Group anytime for a free no-obligation portfolio review at 765-8880. Our office is at 68 Cumberland Street in Woonsocket, and our telephone number again is 765-8880. You can also email Ed at ed@carewinvestmentgroup.com or visit the website at www.carewinvestmentgroup.com. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
It is Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Rich Lane, Melissa Murray, and Dave Richards. And Dave looked it up online, and then we got a call in about the Cape Cod Canal, and the caller actually agrees with Dave. The Cape Cod Canal is a man-made body of water.
Right.
Okay.
And
I
I
thought it was
say
natural.
it has
Okay.
outlived its usefulness when compared to the trouble it causes.
Next time Maura Healy's in state, look her up and pass that along to her.
That's right. When she comes down to Galilee,
Yeah.
we'll take a trip on the Block Island Ferry with them and say, by the way, Gov, it's like this. You know that big price tag for fixing those bridges over there? I'll tell you how you can get around that.
Oh, yeah, she'll
Just,
love that.
just make it the Cape Cod National Dump. And people will just fill it in with all the refuse and dump and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then you pave it over, and you
That's
got
a
no
great
more
idea.
bridges.
Pave it,
Great idea.
paving over.
No maintenance,
Class.
I'm
It'll be
telling you.
great for the environment. and-
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. I wanted to bring this up to Rich because Rich was the former security guard for a prison.
Okay.
All right.
Oh God, another good prison story.
Another good
I
prison.
can't wait.
Well, just your thoughts on this. Federal prosecutors will not seek the death penalty for the two men that are accused of killing Whitey Bulger in prison. All right. Freddie Gies of West Springfield, Mass. and Paul DiColgero of Lowell, Mass. allegedly beat Bulger to death hours after he arrived at a West Virginia federal prison in 2018. Are you okay? Just your experience with dealing with prisoners, are you okay with them not seeking the? Are you surprised they're not seeking the death penalty on this? These guys are probably in there for life anyway.
You know the cool part about it is it was two Massachusetts guy doing out
Oh, I think
doing
that's-
out another Massachusetts. That would have to be looked into a little further. But as far
Yeah,
as
they sound like maybe they
Yeah, there's
might
some-
be Italian.
yeah,
One
like-
is- one
yeah,
is-
I think so.
Take
you
out
know,
the,
and-
take out the Irish guy.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. You know, Stranger Things.
Are you in the mafia? Start pointing at Steve Peluso.
Stranger things have happened, but
Are you surprised they're not going for the death penalty for these two guys?
yeah, I mean, look, I don't care if you're in a prison or outside of a prison, where you are. I mean, if you kill somebody, you got to face the music.
Okay.
So I mean, the law is the law is the
Yeah.
law. But as far as like I said, stranger things have happened inside. You know,
Can
you don't know what happens behind closed doors. You don't know what deals are cut or deals are made, and we all know that happens. Come
Well,
on.
can you see? I can see that here happening because, especially because these two guys are from Massachusetts. Those guys getting real, I don't know, points inside prison of these are the guys that killed Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
That top mob guy in
Like if you're
Boston.
already in for life, then you
what's
just
the
get
matter?
clout,
you know,
right? But, I mean,
you know, as a former correction officer, when you go in behind that wall, you know who these guys are.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I knew.
Whitey's got a reputation.
And I'm not going to really get in depth into it, but I knew who was. There are inmates in there that are just there to do their time, and they'll leave you alone, and they're respectful and the whole bit. And it's the old. Let me put it this way: it's the old adage of 10%. 10% make it impossible for the other 90% to live comfortably.
Okay.
And I'm not saying inmates should be totally comfortable. Don't take that phrase wrong, but it's like the quieter it is, the better it is for the guys that are the correction officers.
Mhm.
So if we can keep things quiet and nice and calm and everything like that, it
Everything
works
is
for
fine.
both sides.
Yeah.
It works for both sides. So, but in this case, hey, like I said, what goes on behind closed doors? Who knows? You know.
All right.
But yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go after the death penalty on these guys. Absolutely.
All right. Another note written in 766-1240. The Cape Cod Canal is part of the Atlantic Intercoastal Waterway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is now antiquated.
Now it says believe what you want to believe. Okay.
No, seriously, folks. The Cape Cod Canal was very important during World War II, especially because it was used by ships to go from New York to Boston. This is, of course, when we did an awful lot of shipping from New York to Boston that didn't involve Interstate 95 on the land route. But it was certainly much better to go by ship Boston to New York, New York to Boston, and that was two very important cities, important to trade between the two of them during wartime, get things moving along. But now you have Interstate 95 and all of its different subsidiaries. I'm saying, but they're, you know, the Cape Cod Canal cut 62 miles off the trip around Cape Cod
All right.
for an ocean vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And during World War II, it gave a safe route because German U-boats would come off the New England coast. In fact, a couple were actually sank from German U-boats, and taking that 62 miles and giving them a little 7-mile cutway through it. All very, very good. Now listen, the next war is not going to be fought with U-boats off the coast of New England. I think we can all pretty much agree on that because history's gone by and things have changed so much. And I just don't think that the entire intracoastal waterway is as important, except for recreation, as it's not important to the economy and the survival of the United States of America. I don't.
Well, this is back to recreation.
Besides, it'll be
tourism.
cheaper to build the tunnel than to fix those two bridges,
Along the Cape Cod Canal,
which would be subject to bombing from offshore facilities.
Along the Cape Cod Canal is a bike path that is used extensively by bikers and runners and rollerbladers.
And so it'll be the
right along-
landfill path.
And they won't use it, Dave. Who wants to do that?
Yeah.
They like it looking at the water.
seagulls will like
and
it.
looking at the, hey, shark in the canal. Isn't that cool? So,
Dave is going to be the, you're going to run for mayor of Cape Cod or something.
all right. I don't know. I don't know if I quite agree with this. I want umpires to be protected. They should not be getting the harassment they get. But this happened in Taunton. I don't know if you heard about it, where the umpires were being screamed at
Taunted.
and threatened with violence.
They were taunting
Yeah,
the umpires.
taunted and taunted. But the umpires staged a protest calling on state legislators en masse. They want to pass a law making threatening an umpire a felony crime. I don't know about making it a felony.
You couldn't build enough
but,
prisons.
That's the problem. There's way too many people going to go to prison for this. But if you made it a crime of like a $5,000 fine, that would put a real.
You could build the
deterrent on-
prisons with that kind of money.
Well, yeah.
No, what about just the minute it comes out of the adult's mouth,
Yeah.
you just bounce them. Get out of here.
Yep,
You're never
you're
coming
done.
back. If you want your kid to come, send them with somebody responsible.
Joe,
but
put-
you're
now-
out of here.
Rich is on a roll. Put him on the
Right.
camera.
Yeah,
But
bounce
now-
them out of there.
But now you need police there. Because if you're the umpire, you're telling me to leave. No.
With body
How are you- how-
cameras.
I guess the only way you can make me leave is, well, the game's not going to continue until I leave.
Hire a guy by the name of Bubba to sit in the stands, a
Moose
bouncer.
Moose and Rocco.
Well, no, what do you think? I mean, I hate,
Go to your
I
car.
hate to bring it up, but you got these clubs that, you got bouncers outside of,
Yeah.
right? Well, then,
Well,
instead
that-
of hiring
that's
a
an
police
idea.
detail, which is probably going to be pretty expensive,
Well,
get a
well,
couple of guys with the 19-inch necks.
And give him a case of beer as payment?
Yeah, you can work something out. You can work something out, absolutely, right?
Well,
What
it's-
goes on behind closed doors goes on behind closed doors. Hey, Bubba, yeah, come watch
The way-
every little kid's game. We'll give you a case of beer
The
and
way
$100.
some, the way some communities have worked it out is no parents can watch the game.
Oh,
no, you can't do
That's
that.
the
That
that's
was-
the other extreme.
That was, I mean, when we were kids, that was our proudest moments, having our parents stand there and
Yeah,
watch us.
right.
And, we hit one over the fence and, you'll go around the
How
base.
about we can just? How about people just don't threaten umpires at kids' games?
Well, that's
It's
what
going to
I mean.
happen.
Yeah, too.
I mean,
that's
should it be a misdemeanor? I mean,
no, you.
I don't think so. I think you should just act like a normal human.
Well, sure you should, but if they don't, then you do what you do in any other
then-
place.
then-
Get
right,
rid
throw
of
'em
them,
out,
bounce
throw 'em
them out. Give them a boot in the behind and say, you're out of here.
I remain convinced that a lot of people do not understand how serious a felony conviction is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, on your record?
That's
Well, that's huge.
Excessive.
Yeah.
That's
You-
excessive.
You can't vote.
can't do that.
There's professions you could never get into. You couldn't work in certain places.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't own certain things. Gosh, I mean, a felony conviction is serious business, folks.
And that's why they want it. I guess why the umpires want it.
Yeah.
It's
It'll
how serious
destroy,
we're
it'll
taking it.
destroy lives and destroy families.
Well, then
Yeah.
don't yell at the umpires, I guess. That's what it comes down to.
I can understand that. but
All right, and don't follow them to their car. That's another issue.
That's very wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
All right, we're going to wind things down, but I wanted to get this one in because, things could always be worse. The Santa Monica police department has had to apologize. They've been blasting classical music at an intersection. It was an effort to deter crime, so police installed traffic signals that play classical music. However, the people that live nearby are complaining the music's too loud. It's tough to sleep. And police blamed, who they blamed, Dave?
Mozart.
No. Whenever there's a problem, you blame a
Computer?
computer is absolutely
Yeah,
right.
right, okay.
Police blame a software glitch that they say reset the volume at the highest possible level.
So let me just get this straight.
So now they've turned it off.
Folks were complaining because the police were playing their classical music too loud in the
Yes.
middle of the night.
Yes.
Only in America.
Yes.
What selection were they playing? The William Tell
Well,
Overture?
they don't say what police they were paying. They also don't say if it actually deterred crime. Makes people go walk away and stay away from this particular
Where did they
intersection.
get that idea?
I could
don't
What
know.
did it work?
It
though?
doesn't- it
Did
doesn't
they
say.
didn't have. Oh, see, you
Oh, it
gotta
was-
have some stats.
Maybe it was so loud and annoying that it did deter
Maybe
crime,
it did, but now people can't sleep either.
right.
I
It's a
could
trade-off.
picture, the William Tell Overture, the Lone Rangers song, when the light was green, and for the other side where the light was red, in that direction you'd play like a Brahms lullaby.
They should hire
Something's-
Dave.
Yeah, they should hire me.
He can
right.
conduct all
I'm
the,
for
set up all the
sale.
Yes.
music.
As
I
Dave,
can- I
as
can
Dave's
program this.
as Dave's filling in the Cape Cod Canal has some classical music going on in the background.
Yeah.
It'll just be a party fest.
Great idea, Dave. All right, Rich Elaine, thanks for coming in to this week.
Thank you. Had a ball this
All right,
morning.
we'll see you in 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
2
correct.
weeks. All right,
Yep.
very good. Melissa Murray, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
See you in
Dave.
2 hours.
Dave,
See you
nice.
in 2 hours.
Great idea with the canal, Dave.
Thank you
for,
very
thanks for
much.
coming in.
I got a million of them.
All
A million
right.
of them.
Hey, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great weekend, everyone.
See you
Stay
tonight at
tuned.
11.
Gary Smith and the crew with Do You Remember is coming up at 9:30 on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Federal prosecutors